Don't ruin your life. Avoid equal partnerships. If you go into business with a partner or partners on an equal basis, meaning you share the same responsibilities and decision-making power, you are risking grief. If it's a partnership with a friend or family member, you're risking even more grief. To be clear, this does not include these two types of partnerships. 1. Business partnerships such as a law firm or medical clinic where the partners have substantial autonomy in their own practices, have their own particular clients, and the primary purpose of the partnership is to share infrastructure, support personnel, and/or branding. 2. Business partnerships in which each partner has very clear and separate responsibilities that don't overlap, and a high degree of autonomy regarding those responsibilities. Of course, this requires each partner to have great confidence in the other partner's competence in carrying out those responsibilities. Other than those two types, partnerships with equally shared responsibilities and decision-making power are generally a bad idea. There are at least 7 built-in problems with them. 1. Disagreements on daily business operations. 2. Disagreements on future business strategy. 3. Disagreements on how and when the workload is shared. 4. Disagreements on dividing up profits, if there are any. 5. Disagreements on reinvesting profits, if there are any. 6. Disagreements on incurring partnership debt. 7. Disagreements on personal financial contributions or withdrawals from the business. You may think, well, Bob and I have been good friends for years, and we know each other really well. He's a great guy, and we're both very reasonable people, so we can work out any problems. We'll make great business partners. Wrong. You and Bob have been good friends for years because you are not business partners. You and Bob don't know each other as well as you think, and you especially don't know Bob in the subtle ways that can profoundly affect your proposed partnership. Bob might be a great guy as a friend, but an unbearable jerk as a business partner. Bob may think one of your reasonable ideas is wrong or irrational or self-centered, and vice versa. Starting a partnership with a family member will not avoid partnership problems. The same potential issues exist, and there's the additional threat of ruining an otherwise good family relationship, not to mention spreading your discord among family members who aren't even associated with the partnership. One of my first-hand experiences in an equal partnership involved myself and a good friend. Together we bought, refurbished, and sold 2 houses. Generally, everything went well, but I found out that he resented my showing up later than him on the job site. At that time, I was more of a night person and stayed up late, but he was used to starting work early. To compensate, I would work later than him, or alone when he wasn't able to get free, but he was never sure I was contributing my share, which understandably bothered the hell out of him. We eventually sold the houses and made a decent profit, so the financial part ended well, and I almost learned my lesson about equal partnerships. Another experience with an equal partnership involved myself and 2 other people in a movie project. Although we each had different responsibilities, the kiss of death was that we had equal voting power in all respects of the production. Most of the partnership problems mentioned above occurred, and to make it worse, the disagreements stalled the project until we ran out of money and desire to finish it. I lost all the money I had invested, which was a substantial amount for me. It also resulted in all 3 partners detesting each other. This animosity clouded my life for several years as the partnership limped along to its eventual legal termination. To this day, I have no interest in ever seeing these people again, and despite my charming personality, I'm pretty sure they feel the same way. Yet it all started out with tremendous enthusiasm and optimism. These 2 experiences with partnerships cured me. Never again. I once heard financial advisor Dave Ramsey say on his syndicated radio program, "The only ship that won't sail is a partnership." It's a saying worth remembering. You might argue, well, marriage is a partnership, and it has shared responsibilities and finances and work, and most marriages last a long time, some forever. So are you saying people shouldn't get married? No, I'm not saying that. First, unlike business partnerships, a marriage partnership usually involves romantic love, which can encourage compromise and mutual problem solving. Second, there are other factors that can preserve a marriage partnership, even if one or both partners would rather separate, such as children, living in a home that both partners like, religious stigma against divorce, and avoiding the complex financial and property issues involved in a divorce. Third, if you did consider this advice about equal partnerships as also applying to marriage, you could argue that divorce statistics support the advice. Credible estimates state that 45% of marriages have ended or will end in divorce or permanent separation. A business partnership failure rate of 45%, assuming the failure had nothing to do with the business model, would be pretty discouraging. If you start a business, the best situation is when you alone are in charge of the enterprise. You're the chief executive officer or the equivalent. If you need to borrow money to start the business, get it from a bank, a home equity loan, a non-voting investor, or a friend who has enough money to take a risk. But don't give investors a say in how the business is run. The investor should trust you to run the business correctly. If not, he or she shouldn't invest. If you need additional help, an extra hand or someone with particular expertise, whether it's a friend or not, then hire that person as an employee or contract worker, or offer a non-voting share in the business.